sure I won't be like cracking NQT. My TCS journey is over. The results came in, I got NQT, qualified NQT, and was selected for digital as well. Right.
Is it true that the hiring process of TCS is becoming tougher because of this pandemic or some other issues that they're facing?
There's nothing like that. There will be again the TCS NQT. See, you guys have it this month only, right? You have it.
Yeah.
But the standard of the question, see, no one knows what it will be. You have to be prepared for anything, and especially in this scenario, you should be prepared for everything that comes into your face. You should give your 100%, right? And after that, you shouldn't worry. Like, you should be satisfied that you have given your 100%. After that, even if that doesn't happen, you would not be unsatisfied or dissatisfied with yourself. You should give your 100%.
In the HR round, what every company has a bunch of set of morals that they are looking from their employee. They want their employee to follow a certain code of conduct, so they select those kind of employee who can actually adhere up to their standards in the HR round. So mostly the questions they ask you is about are you ready to relocate, or how are you planning to take care of your family after this, how much money do you need to take care of your family, how many people are there in your family. Then there will be they will give you situations like if you're working in this company and if you get a bigger pay, what are you going to do then. And there's a lot of questions that they're going to ask you. My suggestion to you guys is like, be very honest and do not try to lie there or make things up, because they are experienced people and it is very evident. So be yourself, and if the company suits you, then only they're going to take you, and that will actually be a good thing for you if the company culture suits you.
Often it happens in technical interviews that you are not able to answer a question which they ask, right? So does the promise of you learning that up soon after you join give some positivity to them, or once you miss out on a question, is it the end? What do you think?
No, it's obviously not the end. But if you pretend to know it, if you give a wrong answer to it, thinking like you will like play him out or play her out, like believe me, then you're wrong. Like if you are confident and if you're honest, like you do not have the knowledge of it at this point, like, but you are eager to learn. This eagerness of you learning it, this will give them a very much plus point. Like they will think of considering you of taking in the company, because in the company, like this is very much needed. Like learning, adapting to new technologies, learning new things. This is quite needed. And if you give them this assurance on not knowing something, that you will learn and come quickly up with it, it is obviously a plus point.
So ultimately, you're saying that competitive programming will help in some way or the other.
Competitive programming gives you that experience, that lessons that you face whenever you have a new problem in front of you. You face that, how to solve that problem, and that gives you certain experiences that would be required for solving a code.
So once you are going into the job, you will see that the companies provide you with various learning platforms. You have to complete this training. Like there are notifications that comes up, and also like there are technical needs that comes up in the project, and there are n number of platforms. Like for example, take the example of Udemy. There are Courseware. There are n number of platforms, and company will give you access to that. Then you can go over there, learn as much as you want, and company will support you fully. So this is the way I stay up to date with the technologies.
Yes.
Hi everyone. I think I'm audible. So thank you. Hmm. So, like to sum it up in one line, I would say that my college life was a roller coaster where I had experienced every emotion, like from happiness to sorrow, from being on top of the world to having anxiety and being anxious. So, it was a roller coaster ride, I would say. Hmm. Yes. Hmm. Yes. Okay, so I would start by saying that uh that okay, so companies come to the campus, companies come to the college campus by the start of fourth year. So like what I made a mistake is that I started preparing very late for the campus placements. Uh so I was at that time I was very, I was not so well prepared. So, like, what I will suggest is that always start preparing for the campus placements right from the beginning of third year. So that by the end of third year, you can be assured that you are perfect to sit in any company, because uh, there are few companies which may come before the start of fourth year uh, by offering internships. So I would suggest that do not start preparing for placements by the end of fourth year, by the end of third year, but start it by the starting of the third year. So that will be my suggestion. So this was the mistake which I committed, and also uh, be very well be planned. Just plan whatever you do, whatever role you want to opt in the campus placements. Be well planned, research, and then plan accordingly, and then prepare accordingly. So this is my suggestion to all the juniors. Hmm. 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 Okay. So in placements, campus placement, be it campus placement, be it online off-campus placement, college plays a very great role in preparing its student for the placement scenario. So what my college did is, at the starting of third year, they had enrolled each of its student into a platform known as My Perfect Eyes, which will provide you. Which will basically provide you all the it will provide you courses, for example, courses for quantitative aptitude, or qualitative aptitude, technical questions, and it will provide you a platform for practicing coding. It will provide you a platform for practicing your soft skills. There are people who are not so confident in their soft skills. So uh, college has really helped all of its students in making sure that each of its student by the starting of the placement period becomes adequate enough to set for for any company. And also the professors in the college would always pressurize us, would always not pressurize but motivate us to keep on going for, and would help us, would guide us in any way possible, so as to make us sure that we are going in a correct way. So I think that college, KIT, every college does, and KIT has also uh, provided lots and lots of opportunities and ways to make all of its students, including me, perfect for placement. Yes. Mm. Okay. Okay. Al- if you're studying in a very renowned college, or even if you're studying in a normal college, doesn't matter. Uh, you know, just focus on your basics. Always focus on your basics. So I would say that in the first year, never ever start preparing for placements right from the first year. For the first In the first year, always focus on your basics. Uh, for example, even if you're not interested to go for any software company, if you're interested to go in a core company, then also you should work on your basics. Basics are very important. And in the second year, from I think every college has this curriculum where from the second year they start to focus on the core subjects. So I would suggest everybody to always focus on the core subjects, and start preparing for your placements right from the third year. So the online platforms where I had prepared, and also many people prepare, is Geeks for Geeks and Lead Code.
Hmm.
These two sites, they will help you to practice coding questions very well. They also provide, there um, you can also attach a timer. What I used to do is attach a timer with every question. Like, I used to assign 20 minutes per question, per coding question, and then I used to solve. If I was able to solve in 20 minutes, then it is good. If I'm not, then I used to uh, even if I'm not, then also it's okay, fine. So I used to then find out the reason that why could I not solve it. And also I used to tally my approach with the approach given on the site, so that I can get the optimal solution for every answer. Every company, be it any company, software or core, they always they always focus on finding out the optimal solution which will increase their revenue of the business. So always focus on finding the optimal solution. And Coming on the off-campus placement opportunities, uh, start to find out these opportunities on right from your third year on platforms like Glassdoor. Then practice they participate in hackathons like hackathons hosted on websites like Code Chef, Geeks for Geeks, Lead Code. These hackathons will help you a lot. And
Radhika,
also,
I would interrupt you in this thing.
Mhm.
Um, there is certain notion that people get confused between lead code, code chef, hacker rank.
Mhm.
So, what is your take on this? Like, what are the differences? Like, some say hackathons are good. Some say hacker rank is for the beginners. Some say code chef is for the advanced. Some say lead code is for the um,
Mhm.
something and something for the
Okay.
advance. But what is your take on
Okay.
that, and how do?
Okay. So I will tell you what Coach Chef has this notion that it has questions of difficult level, hard level, not even intermediate, hard level. So it's incorrect because it has question. You need to score a certain. You need to have a certain score in your dashboard to qualify for those hard questions. Till then, if you do not have certain score in your dashboard, then you will be eligible for simple and intermediate questions. And when it comes to hacker rank has all the questions of all levels given open for every user. So I think it's mo- uh, it's very user friendly. It's more user friendly than it's my point of view that hacker rank is more user friendly than Coach Chef. That is why people get attracted to hacker rank, and beginners, especially beginners, they get attached with hacker rank and they practice. But all these, even lead code is basically for it is more for uh, making yourself preparing yourself for placement point of view, be it be it for a fresher job or be it for any experience experience role. So lead code is lead code is only for practicing, preparing yourself for placements or for switching jobs, whereas Coach Chef and Hacker Rank, they are for preparing yourself for practicing, and they provide you certain opportunities like hackathons or certification courses where you can enroll yourself to increase your knowledge, practice, and prepare yourself for your future plans. So the Coach Chef and Hacker Rank are very similar. They will provide you questions of any level where you will practice, whereas lead code is only for placement or a job point of view. That's it. That's the main difference.
Okay, that was a very good knowledge, Radhika, and I hope that the audience would gain a lot from there. I I am sorry that there was some kind of technical issue in my mic. So the questions which are being asked were basically what is the difference between the various coding platforms that are there, the code chef, hacker rank, lead code. What is the difference and how do you practice between them, which just Radhika answered. And till now we are discussing about how was her college life and how her college, KIT University, helped her to reach where she is now. Radhika, coming into the next part, since we have came into the code chef hacker rank scenario, I would ask you a very question where which even I and many other aspirants have this, that how much DS algo or data structure algorithm important when we are about to crack this kind of big interviews like Dell Technologies.
Okay. So for Dell Technologies, I will say that basic knowledge of OOPS concept, uh, database, and data structure is okay. You need to be very you need to have basic knowledge of these three subjects. Whereas when you go to bigger companies like Amazon, Microsoft, I don't know about Google because I have never appeared for that interview. Appeared for that not interview also. I've never appeared for the written round. So these companies, they focus on, optimal solution. So when you go for Amazon and Microsoft, you need to have a very good command over data structure, be it dynamic programming, be it greedy approach, greedy algorithm, or be it uh, any optimal question, any optimal solution. So you need to have very good grasp over data structure. But when it comes to Dell, you need to have these three things: oops, data structure, and database, with a very innovative mind. So when I talk about innovative mind, is you need to be a very good observer, keen observation, with you know having the zeal in within yourself to solve the problem. So basic data structure is okay. I think if like you should know how to code in using any object oriented language, because after joining the company, each company has its own legacy tech stack. There, after joining, they will tell you that, but before joining, you should be aware of oops and basic data structure and database. These are the three things required for any company. That's it.
Okay, that was a very important thing that you said, that data structure is one of the building blocks of going into a company, and it is very important for us, people like us, and all the engineers out there who want to crack those beautiful interviews. They need to have their basics strong in those. Now, Radhika, I would like to come into a very short question, that what programming languages are required to crack an interview? It is a very question which is asked by everyone, that some prefer Python, some go after Java, but what exactly is required by your experience of interviews, your own interview experience, and everyone?
Okay, so okay, for any tech giant company, you need to know basic C. C is very essential from the debugging point of view, from for this output, finding out the output for any given question. From that point of view, I think Amazon asks a lot of these questions, find the correct output out of the four given options. So C is very essential from that. Apart from that, for coding, you should either be very good with C++ or Java, because these are the two languages taught in, I think, almost 99% of the colleges. So you should be very good with either of these two. And if by being good, is you need to have uh, very good knowledge in that. Just not having certificate, but just not having a certificate is okay. It's good, but apart from collecting a certificate, you need to have very great knowledge. Even if you do a small project by using any of these two languages, it will carry a great value, because you will be learning how to approach a problem. So that is very essential. And nowadays I see Python. So Python is also good. By using Python, oops, by using Python is very good. So it becomes an added advantage for you. So and so C is definitely good. Plus any oops object oriented language like C++ or Java will add a definite value to your skill set.
Okay, so that was all about that. The question which is very frequent among the beginners, that which languages do we need to study and how much do you need to study? Speaking of the languages and the things we need to study, we are currently going through the live chat of our this YouTube live, and we have certain questions out there put up by the audience. The first question is from Nilanjana Biswas. who said that apart from the core subjects, according to the syllabus, what are the other courses that we can do in second year and third year.
Okay,
So,
so like, okay, I was in my college time, I was not a very good fan of doing courses because I am very lazy. I am a very lazy person. If I enroll in any course, I won't be able to complete. So, like what I would suggest is if you're interest, like second year is the place where you can explore any technology. So, if you're having interest in development part, be it web application, be it mobile application, go for it. Start from the front end, then the back, then go to back end. So there are many. I nowadays I see many tech stacks for front end, then specifically for back end. So and so before joining any course, understand, have a you know theoretical knowledge of every tech stack you opt for, every technology you get in, and then enroll in any course. So I would suggest is if you want to go for development, one should start with. I think one should start if you're into software, one should start with web development or mobile application development, because nowadays companies uh, they are for bachelor hiring, they are more into development part of you. And if you're very good with maths and physics, then you should go for machine learning definitely, because machine learning has a very good scope in the market. And apart from that, I was not a very big fan of blockchain and supply chain, so I can't comment on that. But development and machine okay, okay. So for any software from oops concept, I mean irrespective of any languages, because oops concept is same in all the languages. You cannot change encapsulation and abstraction in any language, it will remain the same. So you should know the definition and where to apply, what to at which point, where to apply these concepts, that is very essential. And database is definitely very essential. Apart from these three fields, these three subjects, it depends upon the company, that some companies have their own specification. uh, for example, I've heard of Nutanix. Then Nutanix is very much focused on networks and Linux. So I think computer networks is very common. It is a compulsory subject for all the CSIT people. So but Linux, uh, even I don't know Linux, but some people, they they do it from they do it side by side, they learn it side by side. So Linux and computer networks are very essential. Apart from it, some companies like VMware also, they ask questions from operating system. So computer networks operating systems are very essential. And I have heard few companies, do not know which company it is, but they do ask questions from FLA, that is formal language application. So so it depends upon the company to company, and it may vary according to the role. But OOPS concept, data structure, and database, they remain consistent in all the companies interviews, be it any consulting company or be it any service based or product based company. These three will remain there, always will be there.
Okay, Radhika. So I think sort of world who had asked this question that what technology is to study apart from data structure, he has got his answers, and all the audience people have got their answers that what exactly we have to study. So we have covered up all the questions in the live chat currently, except Gautami De, whose question, how would you get into Dell through off campus, we will be coming very soon to it. Okay, now Radhika, let's get into the main thing, which is interview experience. First, tell us about what companies came into your campus for the interviews, and how did you went to Dell? Means what were the starting footprints?
Okay, so like my first company for which I got to appear was, I think it was Quicker. It's an e-commerce platform. So for that, it came in my college in April 2019. Well, when I was in my third year only. So I think I could not qualify the written round for it, and after that, there came Informatica. It's also a startup. It's a very famous startup. And after that, it came then came VMware and Nutanix. For these four, I was not eligible to even qualify the written round. And then comes Dell. So thankfully, by God's grace, I qualified the written, and then appeared for the interviews. That's how it happened. And after Dell, then there were few companies like Deloitte, HSBC, and TCS, Wipro, Capgemini, and I think Accenture also came to the campus.
Okay, Radhika. So that was all about your journey through the campus placement of your final year. So tell us about the rounds of the Dell interview round. Like how many rounds were there, and how many stages had you to go up before you could just get into the final HR round?
Okay, so they were in total Uh, okay, so there were in total four rounds. The first one was written, where 150 students got qualified from CSIT and electronics branch. They got qualified to appear for the written round. And from 150 students, there were around 50 students who got qualified for the interview rounds. So uh, okay, so my written round was totally it was a complete MCQ round, and there was 75. I think there was 60 questions, and the time slot for the questions was 75 minutes, and the questions were divided by section. So each section has had around 15 to 20 questions, and the time limit, if a section like reasoning section, if it had 10 questions, then the time limit was 15 minutes. So I think the written round comprises of one aptitude part. Then there were technical MCQs, which consist of MCQs from data structure, DBMS, and I think uh, we were given an option to opt from two languages like from C++ and Java, from where we were given five questions, and those were pure theoretical questions. I think, yeah, they were all theoretical questions. And apart from it, we were given few MCQs, like 10 MCQs from the English section, and the time limit was, I think, 15 minutes. So here ended my written round, and then comes my uh, first technical interview. So in the first technical interview, I was asked questions from actually in this there was one section in my resume where I had mentioned skills. So in the skills I had mentioned uh, the subjects which I have studied in my engineering. So I had mentioned I had mentioned C++, Java, and data structure and DBMS. So I was asked a question by the interviewer to explain OOPS concept, and I was asked very basic questions from data structure, and I I I was asked a question to sort on sorting, and I was given a real life problem statement, and basically it was based on sorting. So uh, I had to understand the problem statement and then apply a basic data structure algorithm in that. So the answer to that question was sorting. Anyway, you had to sort the events, sort by event and get the optimal answer to the question. And then I was given a query to write. I think it was some query. It was a very basic query. I think a minus. I had to write a minus b using joins. So it was very basic question. And then the interviewer, every interview will focus on your internships and projects. So in my engineering I did two internships, and those were from two startups only. So I hear from people that if you do internships from very big companies it will matter. It does not matter. There will Your work will always speak for you. So even if you do internship from big companies and in the internship you do not do anything, your it will never carry a value. But if you do internship from a normal startup or a very small startup, but you do a very great job, you learn a lot, that will definitely matter. So my interviewer had asked me questions on my internship, and on the basis of my performance I got selected for the second technical round. So in the second technical round I think I was given a uh, I was given a problem statement. I very well remember that I was asked to design an application which will calculate the shortest distance from a point to b point. And suppose there are n number of ways which you can travel from a to b point, but you need to find out the shortest distance. So it feels like, or it's a normal data structure question, but so I solved the question using a data structure algorithm. But then he asked me, you need to design an application. So when it comes to designing an application, you focus on many aspects, like what will be the features involved in it, how it will be different from existing applications like Google Maps in the Play Store. So then comes your analytical point of view. So I was given, I think, 10 minutes to 10 to 15 minutes, and then I had to explain him what are my views on it. And after that, again I was asked questions on my internships. So again I explained him, like the previous interview I explained him what I did. And then he asked me questions to verify that whether I have done this much. So there were cross questions from his sides. And I think every interviewer will ask you your weaknesses, strengths and weakness. So always be prepared to tell your interviewer what are your strengths and weakness. And they will try to put you down by making weird faces or saying that, oh, we do not believe in what you're saying. Never let them believe. Never let them put you down. Always be calm and composed, because they are there to put you down. So be calm and composed and always smile. Like, do not give a creepy smile, but give a very normal smile that okay, you're not getting affected by what they are saying. And at the end of every and each and every interview, collect a feedback, because even if you do not get selected for that company, their feedback will always matter to you, because that will be a learning point, that will give you a learning point, that this is the place that I have to develop myself, I have to work upon it, and it will be beneficial in the future. So this then uh, there comes my final interview, which was an HR interview. So the HR interview was a very normal interview. uh, so I was asked to give my introduction. Then he had asked me that okay, so he had asked me about myself, my family background and everything. And uh, then I was asked like my since when Dell came to the campus, they came with I think they came with uh, two options for the this for your what do you say? What do you call? I forgot.
The office,
Yeah, office location,
the
your work
workplace, the
location.
workplace.
So I was asked that which location you want and what are your plans for your future. So I would suggest to everybody, you know in being a fresher, always say and always be open to any work location, irrespective of its place, that how it looks, and irrespective of if you're even if you're having language barrier. you know uh, right now, at that point, when you're appearing for a company, you should have a focus on getting a job, not having various notions about work location or anything. Be open to every opportunity. And like I was asked to verify that why do I have no problem in going to any location. So you need to have a very clear reason that okay, I am a fresher and I'm okay with any location. And I think here also I was asked about my strengths and weaknesses. And I was asked to explain why do I feel this much, like why do I feel that I am good at this, I have this weakness. So preparing your weakness, strengths and weakness is okay, but you need to have a valid reason for everything, because an interviewer can ask you anything. Like, it depends upon the mood of the interviewer. That's it.
Okay, Radhika. So you have in a very detailed way, you have gave out all the knowledge, all the experience that you had through the course of the Dell interview. And I think that that was like, even I was listening with my hands on my chin, that it is a thing which is necessary for every engineer to know the experience of people like you who have faced these things, who have faced the ups and downs throughout the course of an interview. And it will benefit everybody who is watching now, who will watch later, everybody. I would like to take this opportunity to give a shout out to our sponsors, which are Hotochara. It is a website, it is a web portal which gives out, which where you can order gifts for your near and dear ones. So please check it out in the description below. You will find the links to the web portal where you will find fabulous gifts for the upcoming festive season. And Radhika, we have certain questions in the live chat while you were speaking. First, we would like to take up the question of Gautami De, who had given the question a lot earlier, that like you, for you the Dell came to on campus, but there are certain people with you who have obviously cracked Dell through off campus, and so please enlighten us about that. How to crack Dell through off campus, which is a question given by Gautami De.
Okay, so like even when Dell came to our campus, also they were my friends who were not eligible to sit in the company. They had also this question with themselves. So I think even I'm not also very much aware of it. But like if you there are certain sites like LinkedIn, Glassdoor, and Dell has its own has its own portal where you can sign in, and from there you will get notifications for Dell or any other company from which you can and if the requirements suit, if the requirement for that for that role suits you, or if you are fit in that, you can apply. And apart from it, I am not very much aware of it if it hires freshers from off campus, because I have not met anyone, uh, but I am not very much aware of it. I'm really sorry, I do not have an answer for to it, but I'm not aware of it.
No, no, Radhika, still you have helped a lot. You have said about the portal which Dell has it on itself, and I hope Gautami they would be certainly benefited from it and all the others. Next, we have questions by Nilanjana Biswas that what kind of technical questions are asked in a interview. You have enlisted certain questions which are asked to you, quite a lot of them, but still if you like to give out the answers to a specific, like some tricky technical questions which are asked,
Hmm.
which often lead to the an increment in which often lead to the increasing the nervousness of the candidates. So if you would please help in
Okay.
that.
So they will definitely ask you stress questions. Like in my case, I was asked to design an application within 10 to 15 minutes. Like it is impossible to do that, but they will ask you anyway. So like I have not faced so many interviews, I have only faced one. So but I had my friends who had faced, so from their experience I will tell you that they will ask you questions on your projects, like okay, you have done this project, now they will give you a similar problem statement. Suppose if you have developed an application using machine learning, so they may give you a very similar problem statement, which a fresher or any college graduate which is who will be not suitable to uh, work on it, but they will check your approach towards it. Even if you're incorrect, they will analyze that. Okay, so uh, you are knowing these many stuffs from your college life, and you are applying those. So here once again comes your basic building blocks of your college subjects. So your college subjects will always play a part in letting you enter in letting you getting selected for a company. So I will say always stick to the base of every subject you're studying in your college or apart from your college life. They will always be useful to you in solving the questions asked in the placements. And apart from it, be a keen observer. Try to observe what they are asking you in a question. They may ask you, prove me A plus B is equal to C, which may be difficult, but your approach will be your approach will matter to them. Maybe the solution may be wrong, but your approach will matter to them. And never let your body language show them that okay, you're giving a negative sign. Always be positive and always smile. They will ask you very stress questions. And like if you want examples of stress questions, you can like go to Geeks for Geeks. There you will get a very descriptive, there you will get n number of questions which you can go through, which will help you to prepare for your placements.
Okay, Radhika. So I think Nilanjana Biswas has got the solutions of her queries, and it will certainly help her and everyone else. And we have another question from Joydeep Datta. I guess he's from electronics background. He says that is there any scope for an EC student in Dell? It is also a
Yes, yes,
question.
definitely.
Yes.
It is. I have a friend who is from my branch and has joined as a software engineer one. She has joined along with me. She is from my batch and she is also from KIT, and she is doing very well in the company. So again, the subjects which are asked are OOPS, DBMS, and data structure. These are the common subjects which are taught to, I think, every branch. Uh, uh, and I'm not aware of other colleges, but they are mostly taught in 99% of the colleges. They are taught to every branch. So you need to be very good. You need to have a good knowledge about these subjects, and you're good to go. Then coding. They will teach you coding anyway. You with when you enter as a fresher in Dell, you will be treated as a fresher. They will not expect you that you should know this much, you should know that much. Then and when you enter Dell, you will be told that this you have to learn, and they will be very patient with you for nearly 6 to 7 months or more than that. In case of my seniors, I have heard that they are very patient, and till now with me also, my managers and my team members, my team lead, they are all very patient. So they will never expect anything from you when you enter as a fresher. But to there is a very good scope for electronic student, because I think IoT is a very has a very good scope, and IoT with development has a very good scope in all the companies and all the software based companies. So you can work on IoT as well. So it will add a value to your CV or your resume when you appear for any company, be it Dell or be it any company. So never get demotivated. Okay, oh, I'm from electronics, I'm from mechanical, I'm from civil. I cannot sit for Dell. I can't sit for any big company. It's nothing like that. Just focus on your basics. That's it.
Okay, Radhika, I think that not only Joydeep Datta who has asked this question, but everyone watching from the core backgrounds like civil, mechanical, electrical, triple E, electronics, all they are benefited by this, and they will certainly get motivated by these things. That I, it was also my question that what, like there is a notion that non-CSE people cannot go to the IT companies, non-CSE people, and they there is a term called core companies. Now, do you think that companies like Dell, which deals in a vast range of products, they just narrow the this gap, this label of core companies and IT companies, or and do you think that how do the non-CSE students from electronics, from mechanical, from electrical should how should they prepare for the IT or the product-based companies like Dell and other companies, as you
Okay,
have said,
so
and in a more elaborate way?
okay, so the core companies, they are also very good companies. Like they will ask you very, very they will actually, the core subjects are very tough subjects. uh, Mechanical or any branch has very tough subjects. So I think it's a notion among all of us that okay, computer science is very easy, it has many scopes. It is nothing like that. uh, there are many good companies in core, there are many good companies in in software world. But if you want to but the core people, they have the option of sitting in core companies, and they have the option of sitting for software companies. But we CS people, we have only option of sitting for software companies. So I think it's my point of view. Our you know our this opportunity becomes less in that way. But core companies are also very good. Now, come when it comes to Dell, Dell gives equal opportunities to all the branch people. Now it depends upon your college that uh, uh, it whether it allows all the branches to sit. But when it comes to Dell, it will give equal opportunity to everybody. It gives equal opportunity to everybody. Like I have seen my manager, he is from a non CS background, and he is managing my team and the whole org very nicely. So it is nothing like that. Um, the knowledge will come with your experience. It's nothing like that.
Okay, so I think that was a very good thing, that it would certainly boost the motivation of all the people, both CSC and non-CSC, everybody who is seeing this. That, and Joydeep has again asked a question after your advices regarding the non-CSC people, that is there any specific number of coding languages we need to learn for getting a job in a specific companies? Is there a
Okay.
specific number of coding languages? So if you can.
Even I say in my college time, I had also this question in my mind. Okay, so I will tell you. Uh, uh, you should be good with C, because C will help you in writing logic. And you should be good with any of the object oriented language, be it C++ or Java. If you know both of them, it's good. Yeah, it's very good, you know both of them. But even if you know any of them, it's okay. Because these two languages, I am not sure, but they are not used by companies nowadays. They are discarded anyway. So when you enter a company, every organization or a company will have its own legacy tech stack, which you will not be aware until unless you do not join. But after you're joining, you will be given training on that, or you will be told to learn this language, which will be required for your project. So C, C++, or Java, and even if you know Python, it's good. It's very good. These four languages are okay. And apart from that, if you know any other language, then definitely it's good, but you need to be aware that your interviewer will ask you questions from that language. So you need to have 100% knowledge in any specific language.
Okay, Radhika. So I think the doubts of Joydeep Datta are cleared, and we have covered a lot of topics right here. We have covered DS Algo, the importance of DS Algo in the campus placements. We have covered the importance of various languages in campus placements. We have covered out the other CS topics like networking, like all the other operating system. Prashun Dash is asking in the comments that apart from the DS Algo, OOPS, and DBMS, which you have already enlightened us about, what is the importance of project development, or is project development or on competitive coding, which is more important,
Okay.
and how it is more important, like how much,
Okay.
what is the weightage of both that.
Okay. So competitive coding will help you in approaching the solution, finding out the optimal solution. So optimal solution, when it comes at an organization level, you know we have complaints about uh, any online portal giving us response very late. So there comes your finding out the optimal solution. So here comes the value of competitive coding or DS algorithm. So it is important in that way. When it comes to project level coding, it will help you in having idea about real world problems. That okay, okay, I'm working on this project, so I have this idea. How can I apply? How can I provide a solution to it? So it will help you from the application point of view. So these two are very important, but have different importance, and these two are very essential. I will give 50-50 weightage to both of them, because now these two have different. If you go company by company wise, the ratio will vary, but you need to keep 50%. You need to give 50% weightage to both the type of programming, and you should be good with both the type of programming.
Okay, Radhika. So that competitive programming was a question for many, As I can see in the comments, it was a question also by Roy. So I think everyone has got the solution that, as you have said, we have to put equal weightage on competitive programming as well as on project development. We also have a question from Lanjana Biswas that, um, ma'am, in IT companies, what are the specific skills or mastery over any languages do they look for?
No, no, they don't. They don't. You need to be good. If you know any language, you need to be adequate enough to answer to that language, answer to the question asked by the interviewer for the any specific language. You do not need to have any mastery or any certificates also. Just have a good knowledge. If you write the name of any language, you need to have knowledge in that language. That is more than enough. You do not need to have any certificate or any mastery, not required.
Okay, so I think we have covered all the questions in the live chat. I would carry on with the interview with the part where we left off. Is that you had concluded saying about your HR interview round. How did you make through the HR interview round? So I would like to ask you about some tricky questions which are asked in the HR interview rounds. Even if you don't have from yours, you have some from yours, you have heard from your friends, all those tricky questions from HR interview rounds which tend to stumble your goal. So what are those tricky questions and how do you usually face them? So please, if you can say those some.
Okay, so number one, which my friends have, my one of my friends, she is also working in the same company. So which she has faced is that her, she is a really good student, but I don't know why the HR has asked her this question, that why has your graph right from 10th till engineering it has decreased, maybe by maybe by 0.5% or 1%. Why has this got decreased? So give a, never panic. Just tell your, just tell him or her that okay, in at that time I was very focused on my scholastic. Right now I am focusing on both scholastic and co-scholastic activities. That is why I was unable to balance, but this I am learning slowly by slowly. So right now I have learned a lot to balance, and I've learned from my mistakes that okay, I need to work on both scholastic and co-scholastic. Also my friend answered, had provided this answer that from 10th to till college our motivation goes down. So maybe that answer is, maybe it's applicable, but never panic in that question. Also, I've seen people being asked about their future plans, that are you going for masters? So if you want to get selected in any company, never say that you're going for masters. Always say that okay, I want to work in this company. I am not going to go for any master's plan. Never ever say that. Like, these two are the very common questions asked, and they are very tricky.
Okay, so I think those were some important to be bulleted questions which need special attention in the HR rounds, which we'll surely look to. Nilanjana Biswas has another question regarding this HR round. She is writing that what about the written round, managerial round, and HR round in TCS or companies as such? As you have said that you were placed in, you had given interview and got placed in Dell, but do you have any experience or any knowledge about the other companies which are out there, which your friends have been placed, and what are those
Okay.
questions asked in those rounds? If you can enlighten us about.
Okay, I know about TCS. So TCS, they will, they do not. I think all over India, they have this off-campus for all over India. For all the campuses, they have this off-campus approach. So there also there is one written round, two technical rounds, and one HR round. So I think it's one technical or two technical. I'm not aware of, but there is one technical definitely. So the written round is quite good. You will be asked MCQs, and there is one coding question, which depends on the batch to batch. Uh, there are, suppose for a specific day there will be three batches, and the coding question will get changed back from batch to batch. But then and I think it's similar for 4.5. There are two packages for 4.5 and 6.5. So for 4.5 there will be one written round. Then if you become eligible for 6.5, then you will have another round of written. I'm not sure, I do not remember very much, but you will have one written round for 6.5. From that you will be having a technical round. So I think, I'm not aware of it, but technical is similar for both 4.5, same for both 4.5 and 6.5. Again, in the technical round you will be asked from your CV, the subjects which you have mentioned and the projects which you have mentioned. And I think my friend had appeared, so she was again grilled on this location part. So I will suggest to never ever, you know, tell the interviewer that okay, you want this specific location. Apart from it, you are not okay with any location. That is not acceptable. This will decrease your chances. And then in the HR round also, it was very similar. I think I am not very much aware of it, but it was similar to Dell's HR round. Anyway, HR rounds are in all the companies are very similar.
Okay. Okay. So Radhika, that was some insights about the companies which you didn't appear for, but your friends did, and they successfully cracked those. And you have gave us insight about that also. So a big thanks to you that you have gone out of your own sphere to give us knowledge about what your friends have gone through their interview experiences. Currently, we have another question from Pradyumna Sinha. It is that how to improve in competitive programming.
Okay, for improving in competitive coding, I will tell you to practice, practice, practice. Like, I was also toddler when I entered computer science. When I entered engineering, I didn't know anything about coding. I did not have a CS background in my school time, so I didn't have any knowledge. So what I did is, I have always been a firm believer of hard work and practice. So I had practiced. I had in the first year itself only, I had logged in. I had signed up for Hacker Rank and CoachF, and I used to practice. I used to take out time from my uh, from my daily job, and I used to at least give 30 minutes, or sometime it would go to 1 or 2 hour also. I would give time to those 30 minutes. I would utilize it for practicing my coding. And there were people who would put me down, but eventually I would not listen to anybody and would always practice. And at the end of by coming at the end of fourth year, I realized that it was my practice which which helped me to get selected for the company which I'm working today.
Okay. So I think people will have an idea of how to improve in competitive coding, and those who are currently looking for a way to improve in competitive coding and to start competitive coding, they will also have an insight about that. There is another question. There are a lot of questions in the chat box, live chat, and some of the questions ask about the use of and the importance of .NET framework in corporate life, and how do you incorporate those elements of .NET framework in your projects when you're making. Specifically asked by Rudra Majumdar, Nilanjana Biswas, and many others, that please tell us how do you incorporate the .NET framework, which is by Microsoft. How do you use that in your products?
Okay. So I think .NET is very famous and is being used by, I think, 99% of the companies today. So I will say that .NET framework, and there is a confusion between .NET framework and .NET core. So okay. So I prefer to work more on .NET core, and I always opt for .NET core than .NET framework. they both are good, but you cannot apply the recent version of .NET Core with .NET Framework, whereas you can apply .NET framework with the recent version of .NET Core. So I always go for .NET Core. And when it comes to .NET Core, you use C sharp over there, which is again very similar to Java. And it is actually more friendly than it is friendlier than from Java and C++. So I always opt for .NET Core rather than .NET Framework. So I think it has those cliche advantages like it is scalable, robust, and user friendly. But I always opt for .NET Core.
Okay, so I think the people in the live chat and me and all the other engineers who always use .NET for installing those games and softwares now know that what exactly .NET is used for designing products in companies like Dell. Radhika, we have questions from Suryaditya Sarkar. He's asking, how would you suggest a freshman or a junior year student to prepare themselves for what is coming? Be it an internship or jobs, how do you prepare our minds? What are your thoughts on that, and maybe share how you did it in your time?
Okay, so I'll tell you for my internship for I had started to apply for I did two internships in my third year. One was of 9 months and one was of 1.5 months. You can call it of 1 month. So I started to apply for my internships right from the second year onwards. So then I realized that I need to have skills, and apart from skills, I need to have projects in those skills. So getting skills is it can you can get skills by learning from free online sources, or enrolling yourself in a course. But for working on projects, again, that becomes a now that becomes a problem. That is a challenge. So what I did is I used to search on the internet that what are the small projects which a fresher, which a first timer can make. So there I understood that small projects like a to-do list, or any n cross n chessboard, or any application, small user friendly application using GUI or command line, that you can make, which you can present at the time of your internship to your interviewer to get into internships. Now when you work for internships, you will get projects to work upon. So there you will always focus on keeping your learning curve high. Always learn new things and take up the new challenges you get to face every day. Do not run away from it. And after your internships gets over, when you sit for a company, those challenges will help you. Those challenges which you have faced in your past, in your internships, or while learning the skill, when you will be asked on the questions over that, you will be very confident to answer upon it. So always work on your skills, do small projects which will help you in your internships and your placements.
Okay, Radhika, that was you said all this time about your job experience. Now you also enlightened us about your about your internship experience. That how do you crack those internships, and what is the importance of internships in our engineering life, and as a pathway to the jobs. Radhika, we have more questions, which is a quite famous question by Sabi Ganguly. He says that, what is your opinion on development versus competitive coding dilemma? It is a
Okay, very good
yes,
question.
yes. So, would you like to enlighten us about your thoughts on it?
Okay. For getting into company, there are first I am not sure, but there are companies where you will be in the written round only, you will be given a specific timer. There you have you will be given questions on based on your competitive coding, that you need to solve those questions. So competitive coding is definitely essential. But when you join a company, then and there you will be taught to work on the development coding. So in the college, it is very essential to have, it is very important to know competitive coding. And having a keen observation and solving problems using development coding is also good. But competitive coding is definitely very much important, be it any company. Development coding you will get to learn when you enter the company, you will be taught.
Okay, Radhika. So I think you have some insights and your take on the dilemma that either development or competitive coding. We have more questions. One from Srijan Mukhopadhyay. Can you share any online platform for coding practice that helps me for competitive coding? And he has another question, which is, what is the best answer for why should you be hired in a particular company? Every plat- platform, internship, every job platform or internship, I think he has meant to say, ask this question. Can I have the answer? So, can you
Okay.
please enlighten us about these two queries of him? Some platforms of
Okay.
competitive coding and that question. Why should you be hired in a
Okay.
particular company?
Okay. For practicing competitive coding, like I've said before also, Geeks for Geeks, and Hacker Rank, CodeChef, or Lead Code. These four are good. I'll prefer Geeks for Geeks if you're sitting for placement. Geeks for Geeks is the best, because they will give you placement questions from different companies, and these links are free of cost, whereas in Lead Code they are not, sometimes they are not free of cost, you need to pay. So Geeks for Geeks is the best. Also Hacker Rank also has this, again it has a different option of where you will get a placement, uh, where you will get all the placement questions. So Hacker and Geeks for Geeks are the best. Then comes your then we come to the second question. So I was also asked this question, that why should I hire you in my managerial interview? That is my second technical interview. So like what? Okay, so even I do not have a perfect answer for this question, but at that time I remember I told my interviewer that I described my strengths in front of him, that okay, these are my strengths, that I am so and so, and I think I think I'm perfect to be hired in the company, because I will add value and I have these many strengths. But the interviewer tried to put me in a stress situation again, that he told me that okay, you're telling me this and this, you're telling me that you're hardworking, but I can't find you hardworking. So again, then I had to provide a valid reason, a valid example, that I can do this, I can do this, I have done this, and that is why I think I am hardworking and I can stand upon myself. That I have a valid reason, that because of this I am I am I am I am capable of working in the company. So this is a very good stress question. I'm always never panic in front of your interview. Just be calm and answer.
Okay. So I think that was a question which was important for everybody, like the upcoming batch also who are preparing for the interviews in this pandemic situation. Speaking of preparing in this pandemic situation and the upcoming placement interviews, we would like to mention Quordnet Academy, which is the host of this interview experience series, and you are viewing it right there in the YouTube channel. You can find the Telegram links of their channels in Telegram, where Coordinate Academy is guiding the freshmen who would be placed in the companies some months from now. The upcoming exams which are being held by companies like TCS and CTS, Coordinate Academy is giving free of cost advices to them. So please check out the Telegram channels where all the freshers all the freshers can help and can support those, all means they can have this guidance and they can be guided by some of the people who are in the corporate world. So please subscribe to Quordnet Academy on YouTube and also check out their social media handles in the description below. So moving on to the other questions of the live chat, we have questions by Sabyasachi Ganguly. How was your experience of transition from fourth year to job life? Which is a very
Okay.
interesting question and it was also in my list of questions. So please.
Okay, so I'll tell you something about Dell. So Dell has this, great work-life balance. Like I find it great till now. So apart from day job, we are actually the all the graduates who have been hired from the college, be it masters or bachelors. They have this 2 years course where they have 2 years course known as IT development program, where which is very similar to all the college committees, where where we have different where we get to network with uh, people from different organizations of different posts, and also we get to work upon ourselves, like we if we are good with communication, then we can then we can host events. If we are good with innovation, then we can host hackathons, we can participate in them. If we are good with networking, then we can host events related to networking, be it any talk with any speaker. The transition has been very similar to, the transition has been very easy for me. And even in the day job, when you join as a fresher, you will be treated as a fresher, you will not be treated as an experienced person. So they will understand your problem, that okay, you do not have uh, knowledge in this field. Now they will give you time, that they will give you infinite time. In my case, it was infinite time. They asked me that to you take your own time, we are giving you this technology stack, learn whenever you feel you're capable of, come to us, we will assign you work. So in my case, it was pretty easy and very pretty slow. So I really enjoyed that. Okay. Hmm. Okay, so on the time management, I'm also not very good at it. I have analyzed as whatever you do, you cannot multitask every time. So whatever small task, even if it is a small task, if you do it, give your 100%, do it with the full heart. Wholeheartedly, you should do a task. So, and always when you before doing any task, have a proper plan for any task. Do not do anything without improper plan, without proper planning. Do with the proper planning. Improper planning will lead you to nowhere. That is my learning from my experiences. And you know always enjoy. It's not engineering is not about studying, because when you will get into company, you will never have that time, this great time to enjoy yourself. So apart from studying, you should also enjoy your life, because it's a very golden time. These 4 years are very golden period, are the golden period of one, of a student life, of a professional life, before entering into a professional life. So study and enjoy, but when you study, study with your whole heart. When you enjoy, enjoy with your whole heart. That's it.
Okay, Radhika. So, those are some points which I personally would like to keep in mind, because the question was asked by Sabyasachi Ganguly, and he referred to me, and also not only me, to everybody from the second years to the first years, to everyone even from the school, that how we should maintain time. And me in second year currently, I would also implement those changes in my life to make the planning and plotting appropriately, so that the things would go right in place. Coming into the questions of the live chat, the other questions, we have questions from Dipanshu Datta. If I don't go for any internship, will it affect very much for getting a good job in a company? Like in a bad effect, kind of.
Okay, so I do not have a very good answer to it. I am not very much aware of it, but even if you do any training also, or any internship, maybe you do not do any internship, any paid training also, there you will be, you will be taught to, they will, the instructors will help you in making projects. So if you put your whole heart in making those projects, uh, that will be also counted, that will be a good count in your CV. And if you are asked questions in the interview, and if you're able to answer those questions, it will be very good. So even if you do it, even if you do internships from good college, good places, good companies, or good startups, and you have no knowledge about your tech stack, that will be very bad. But if you do it from, if you do a paid training, or if you, you know, if you do it from a very small startup or anywhere, but you have very good knowledge, that will be acceptable.
Okay. So so that was a answer to the question which is put forward by Dipanshu Datta, that do we really need internships? And I think that was quite a help, that internships really don't matter if you have that kind of training and projects in your hand. So we would like to come into the other questions in the live chat, one of which was um, a question was put forward by Sort of World. Which learning platform do you suggest to learn technical knowledge, like Udemy or Coursera or something?
Okay. I am not a very big fan of Udemy and Coursera, because they are paid, they are paid courses. There you will get paid courses. So I have always opted for, free sources, like
Like YouTube.
uh, YouTube. YouTube is very good. Then I used to learn from these sites like Java T Point, then WW3 schools. Then there are few more. I am forgetting the name. Geeks for Geeks is also good. And apart from it, I'm not aware of. But if you get, then that's good. But I am not very big fan of Udemy and Coursera, because they are paid, and the price, I am not capable of paying that much price.
Okay. So yeah, that is a very good big point, that the price point which the Coursera and Udemy courses charge, they are a big problem for some people to get. Speaking of the courses, right in this Quordnet academic channel on YouTube, we are offering free courses to the people, and the courses are designed by some of the most renowned teachers across the internet. These are the teachers who are internationally recognized for their courses in those specific fields, and in the Coursework Academy channel, you are getting all those for free, ranging from Java to Python, the two of the most basics and important programming languages that Radhika has discussed and are required for various uh, corporate aspects like DS algo and competitive programming. So you can get hold of those and you can learn the basics of programming languages and all other aspects. Very soon we are going to come up with more of those CDs, more of those channels. So subscribe to Quordnet Academy, press the bell icon, and stay tuned for the upcoming videos on Java and Python. Okay, Radhika, so I think we have covered up all the currently asked questions in the live chat. I would like to move on with the session with some of the questions which I personally have. So Radhika, you are currently working as software engineer 1 at Dell Technologies. So
Yes.
many people have this notion, don't have this idea that what exactly is the work of a software engineer.
Okay.
Software, some people know software to be a synonym of applications. We know applications. Some people think software to be compiled products, and engineers have quite a lot of definitions across various backgrounds. So would you like to enlighten everyone that what is your work as a software engineer 1, and what is exactly the definition of the word software engineer? What is the meaning of your job profile?
Okay, so so every company has this, you know, has its own uh, a name for the role, for any role. So software engineer one is similar to system software engineer or system engineer or software developer in any other organizations. So I'll tell you a very basic definition. Software engineer is an engineer uh, who works upon the software, who works in the building, developing, designing of the software from scratch till the end. Even after the release, will work upon the bugs, fix the bugs, will will develop, integrate, test, or whatever depends upon the role assigned to the software engineer, uh, and will work for the will work on the well functioning of the software. Now, under software engineer, there comes many aspects. Some companies placed analyst also under software engineer. Some companies place developers under software engineer. Some companies place testers under software engineer, and some companies call it collectively all the three into software engineer. So these are the names. So the basic definition which I have said few seconds ago is similar to all the roles, all the names of the roles given to software engineer or similar to software engineer. Now every company has its own naming convention, which we cannot question. So software engineer is the one who will work for the who will work on the well functioning of the software.
Okay, so I think that even I now know that what exactly is the work of a software engineer. Not only in Dell but also across the corporate world, we know that exactly there is a very big thing that we don't understand what exactly is the work we are applying for. So I think this would all the things that you have said till now and the profile which you're working for, people will understand that for what profile, how we need to prepare for that. Radhika, I have like we have said about those software engineer, that what exactly is software engineer. I would like to ask another question which is of my list, that that do we need to be very fluent in English? Like coming from a vernacular background, there are many of us who are coming from a vernacular background. We have studied in the regional state schools where they have excelled in studies, but their mode of education still remains the same, the our languages of India. But in the corporate world, where the official things are made in English, so do we need to be that fluent in English? And also there is a notion that during an interview, and there is also many mock videos on YouTube, many fun videos on YouTube about that corporates generally prefer the English speaking people. So is it
Hmm.
true, or is it just a myth? So would you like to be the myth buster and just tell us about that, whether it is true or not?
Yeah, I also had this question because I've seen people I've seen people getting selected in the company with very great English and all. This was a question I had in my mind why when I was sitting for the companies. So I'll tell you one simple thing is you should know English, basic English. Even if you have the regional touch in your English, that's acceptable because with experience it will go. When you enter the company with experience, it will definitely go. But when you speak English with a very fake accent, when you add accent, I find it very irritating. Even the interviewers find it very irritating. It will give a very negative impression that this person not is not very honest with us. So just speak English in such a way that it is understandable to the interviewer. Having regional touch is okay. I mean, we are Indians, we will have a regional touch because English is not our mother tongue anyway. So it's normal to have regional touch. But be clearer to the interviewer. And if you have problem, then go through YouTube. If you're not confident, then just practice within yourself. Watch YouTube videos. My friends who had not very good English, I have seen them working upon their English, and by the end of the by the end of the third year, they started speaking very good English. Why? Because they had practiced a lot, and they have really achieved a lot in those 3 years. So practice will make you perfect. And also, if you have this notion of not speaking in front of everybody, stand in front of mirror, speak for 10 minutes, stay 10 minutes every day. You will lose that fear of speaking in front of people, because it's the fear which comes from within. And when you're able to face yourself, this fear will definitely go away. Hmm.
That specific aspect, how should, like, if anyone, like, from any background, you have spoke about the various backgrounds, but if anyone wants to channelize into a certain aspect of BTech, if he wants to go to a certain product based company under a certain role, whether an app developer, whether a web developer, you have spoke about development, you have spoke about competitive coding, if he wants to be an optimization expert, so how does he has to apply in a product based company? And is product based company the only thing in BTech, or the other aspects open for a engineer? Please.
Okay. So I'll tell you what. In my BTech, I have seen. companies like service based companies, product based companies, and consultancies coming to the college. So they are all very good companies. I have never differentiated between any company. It was my luck that I got selected for a product based company, but I was always open to any company. Even in consultancies also, or service based companies like Deloitte, PwC, ZS, they also ask you questions on Java, and oops and database. And on the in the product based companies also, they will ask you questions. They have asked me questions, and my friends, on these three subjects. So uh, it's a myth that product based companies are the boom, or it is because of pandemic that these companies are flourishing right now. But when the market will get stable, maybe after 1 or 2 years, all the companies of all the zones, they will flourish anyway. So when you're in BTech, just explore yourself, just understand your weak points. That okay, you are good with you're good with public speaking, you are good at analyzing points, analyzing things. Then okay, I am better for a consultancy role. And if I'm very good with technical stuff, if I'm very good with coding and stuff, then okay, I can have a greater hand on product based companies. But you should but when you sit for placements, never ever narrow your thoughts, never ever narrow your opportunities. Sit for any companies, because on that day only, it depends upon your luck. Maybe due to bad luck, you may not get selected in your dream company. Maybe you get selected in your dream company. It depends upon your day. So never ever choose, never ever just discard companies by choosing, or by not choosing or sitting in them. Oh, that okay, I am not, this company is not good for me, or I am not good for this company. Just sit for the company, and after you sit for the company, you will understand that okay, you are good for this company. And being a BTech student, after you enter the company, you will get to know that okay, in the company only you will be given training, you will be groomed for the specific role. Because when you enter the company, they definitely know that you do not know anything about anything. They will treat you that in that way only.
Okay, Radhika. So I think that is
Definitely.
whether the government universities they be shortlisted on the government sector and the private be on the private sector. Does it happen anytime? Does you have seen it any times in
I have heard
in
of it. I
in
have heard of it.
campus interviews, in internships, in competitions? We try our best in being in private college, but sometimes it just lags behind sometimes. So what are your thoughts on that, and how would you like to motivate your juniors who are currently studying in the fourth year, second year, third year? How would you like to motivate them across the various private colleges that don't, about what? Please tell us.
Okay, I have heard of it. It does happen. You can't do anything to it now because it's not in your hand. And I will tell you why they do it, because they want to simply they want to they want to make lesser number of people appear for the interview, because they don't want to do the hard work of interviewing n number of people. That's why they do it. Uh, but do not get demotivated. Even if you do not get into big tech giants, that does not matter, because I have seen people getting into startups and getting into I don't know why they call TCS, Capgemini, and Accenture such great companies as mass recruiters, because they are very good companies. They will they they really spend a lot on their employees, and they make the employees life very good. So these, even if you get into these companies, it's not a demotivating thing. Work and work over there, work in the company, work wherever you go, give your 100%, give your 200%. You will come at a point where you will be asked that if you want to switch role, do you want to switch your branch, do you want to switch your department, then you can go in whatever branch or whatever department you feel like. Or if you want to switch your companies, you will get at a point. So wherever you go, just give your 100% and do not think about the outcome. And just not getting
Sure.
shortlisted for the off campus interviews. It's really not in our hand. It is done by the interviews themselves. We can't do
Sure, sure.
anything to it.
Sure, Radhika, and that is what the throughout these 5 episodes of interview experience, people like you who are proficiently placed in those companies, they have said repeatedly that, like, after those all India entrance exams, some people couldn't crack those, and we landed up in private universities. Be it on the private universities, we would have not got the second chance. Just like those, we should not disown those mass, calling them mass recruiters, calling the largest company of our India, TCS, calling it mass recruiter. Maybe it had provided a certain opportunity to someone who had been an asset to the nation. Okay, Radhika, I would like to sum up the session with the last questions remaining in the live chat. There are quite a lot of questions. Question was asked by Nilanjana Biswas. She is one of the most active members of this session.
Yes,
Yes,
I see Nilanjana very active.
yes, and she is asking this question. Could you tell something on mini project topics or ideas for third years and innovative project ideas for final years? Not also final years. I also, as a second year, want some ideas, want some project advices, which can be benefited and for even the first years. Because
Okay.
if we can get some ideas, then hopefully we can just build them up and just strengthen our portfolio.
Okay, so be look. Okay, in my BTech, I was not a open source contributor, but when I joined the company, I understood the importance of open source contribution. So always be an open source contributor. uh, Pick up small topics, like if you're very good with development, then start doing small applications like to-do list. To-do list is very important. We all use notes and to-do list every day to plan our day, so it will be very important. So uh, try to make it try to build a newer application of to-do list, which which can be used by many as a newer tool. Also, if you're good with machine learning, then I would suggest you to go through research papers. Research, if you get there are many research paper from IEEE and Springer. uh, there are certain websites which gives you a crack to get the IEEE and Springer papers for free without signing in. So just go through the research paper, understand what happens in a research, do some research work. Also, if you're good with networking, make networking apps like I see this problem statement, very common problem statement is they make this pinging application where a request goes from client to server in n seconds and comes back in n seconds with a lesser number of with no latency. And you can work on the computer networks also. You can work on cloud topics, like you can work on the research paper. You can work on the research paper, you can publish your own algorithms, you can make your own application, and then uh, you can write a research paper on your findings, and then you can get it published. That these are the things which will help you in adding value to your CV resume, and also it will increase your knowledge, and it will benefit a lot in your what you say, in your professional life. It will be definitely useful in your professional life.
Okay, so that is a very good advice, and those some of the topics which I personally would like to make some projects on and show to you, obviously, if I can, and if you have the time. And that comes to the end of the questions on live chat. We don't see any questions coming right now anymore. Okay, Radhika, I would like to ask you about the things that. Okay, there is one question. Okay, so there is one question by Prashun Das. He asked that whether you should work in a startup or in a big company. It will be one of the most just question for you, because you have also done internship in startups. You have said in two startups throughout your third year, and you have also working in a quite a, everybody knows of Dell Technologies, and you, I think you are one of the most able persons to answer this question. Like, people, some people have the idea of startup versus big companies, they can google about it, but I want to ask you the experience. What is the experience of working in a startup and in a big company? How is the work culture different? How is the environment different? How you have to um, mold yourself differently in the both the aspects? So if you would please like to enlighten us about that.
Okay. See, my experience was very similar. In all the three companies, my experience was very similar, very similar. I have met with very professional people in all the three companies. They were very professional. And they always, valued your time. They always valued my time. They were very keen about the deadlines. That okay, this is the deadline. By this, you have to do this. And uh, I was also, I had always, like, I have always kept myself away from all the politics. Politics happens everywhere. You will be
Obviously,
facing politics everywhere. So I've
obviously.
always kept myself away from politics, be it corporate politics or be it any politics. So I have always kept myself away from it, and touch wood, I have kept myself away from it in Dell also. So, the now I get to hear that okay, you're working in such a big company, you will get to learn more. This is really untrue. This is very wrong. You know, I have seen very good people who were with me, very good people. They are working in startup and they are doing very good in life. Right now they have more knowledge than me, so I will never say that startups are lesser than big companies. Maybe the paycheck matters, it differs, but eventually when you have a great experience, your pay may your pay will increase definitely. So um, maybe the paycheck, due to paycheck it matters, but uh, opportunity wise, I would say startups are really good. It will mold you very well.
Okay, so I think, Radhika, that was the conclusion thing you said about the startups and the big companies. Talking of big companies and startups, you are placed in both, and I think every startup, if channelized in the proper way, might become a big company in the future. Talking of startups, we have Quordnet, which hosted their YouTube channel and this series on the YouTube channel. Follow Coordinate Academy on Facebook, Instagram, and all the social handles given in the description. You can get hold of all the content that they share. You can get hold of courses of from Udemy, Coursera, and everywhere. You can get hold of knowledge regarding those upcoming corporate exams. You can get hold of specific stream based notes and ebooks of the various engineering courses out there, be it electronics, be it CSC. You can get an overall edutech help from the coordinate channel, telegrams, and the social handles. So please check out their social handles, and also subscribe to this YouTube channel clicking on the red subscribe button. Okay, Radhika, so that brings out to the final conclusion of our t- interview experience. It was a wonderful experience with you, and I hope that it continues in the future. So we would have more interaction with you. So with that, I would like to conclude this interview experience. It's been a great session with you throughout
Same
almost two
here.
hours, and many of the questions have been answered in the live chats. People would look up those questions and those answers afterwards in the video when it is published. And I also personally, being a second year, have cleared out many of my doubts. So yes, this session, I for me personally, was a very productive one, was a very helpful one. I gathered a lot of knowledge from someone with a lot of experience and proficiency, and also it would help me in the future. So thank you, Radhika, for joining us in this session. But
Welcome.
stay tuned, everyone, all the audience out here. We would meet you in the next Sunday in the same session, interview experience, where another same proficient and helpful people like Radhika Singh would come up and share their experience with us. So stay tuned, everyone, and hope you a very good night. Thank you.
Okay.